All right, man, have I got a story for you? What I did last weekend, Tim Montana birthday weekend, Arkansas Duck Camp 2023 is in the books. And it was one for the ages, let me tell you. So a little bit of history on this duck camp. I've been going for 2, 3, like maybe 4 years now, at least 3, maybe 4. That's the way duck camp gets. You can lose one in and around there. But years past, it's been super cool. So Tim, when he was out in Nashville, became really good friends with these folks, the Pardews. And Tim Pardue owns a company, Centurion Stone, just making absolutely amazing product. It's done really well as a business. And Tim's an avid outdoorsman. And he bought a hunting lodge there in Arkansas and made it his way. And him and his boys, Trent and Trevor, they worked their butt off year round to keep that lodge up for us. And 2 months out of the year, they go down there and we all have a big time. And I remember getting invited down there the first time. My first trip, it was me and Thomas Jane from The Punisher and his dad and Tim Montana. As always, Tim Montana's the glue that brings it all together. And they had said, man, we'd love to get a Traeger down to the lodge. And I got a Traeger down there to the lodge, and I went down there and I cooked for the first time. And man, they were bringing me these ducks, and we were cooking them, and I was enjoying it and just cooking that food that always comes off the Traeger. Briskets, butts, ribs. And so just sharing great food with these guys out of the blind. We decided to kind of make it an annual the old Traeger event, where I'd come down there and we'd hunt and we'd spend a couple days, cooking and eating and having a good time. And then last year we had Michael Ray, Jared Neiman's been there a couple of years, Joy Jones, Dan Henderson, Chad Belding, a bunch of folks have came through Lookout Lodge. And we're getting ready for this year. And man, it's always a weekend that I block on my calendar. I circle it. There's no other events. We got to do it. So it's Tim Montana's birthday weekend. I know it happens once a year. I mean, you got to go to duck camp and celebrate it. So this year, I'm talking to Tim a couple weeks ago, trying to find out who was coming in, what usual suspects, who was new. And he said, man, Bobby's coming in, and Bobby's Kid Rock. And so had the pleasure of being friends with Bobby since, I guess, 2015. Way back before I was with Traeger. I met Bobby when he was working on a little tailgate and grill, and got to do some shooting at his house and become friends. And, I see him here and there and got to cook Rob O'Neill's bachelor party dinner. Him and Tim Montana invited me up to Nashville to do that. So, done a couple things with Bobby, and always a good time and just a great guy. And so, it's going to be fun with him coming to camp. And we had Derek Wolf, which Derek Wolf played line for the Broncos and the Ravens. Years ago, I'd got him a Traeger 34 just because he was playing, loved cooking, loved the outdoors. So it was cool to finally get to meet him, hang out with him, talk Traeger and talk wild game, put together some plans for next year. So, and then you had the Pardews, and you got Mick, and you got all the local Harry Balls and all the guides and all the local folks. And Bobby and Tim got in Wednesday night along with Darren, Tim's manager. So they were there. Brad, which is Tim's best friend, he's a lineman out of Montana, really cool guy. Him and Tim are childhood best buds. So they all got there Wednesday night. They went out I think they had a good time Wednesday night once they got in. I think they may have missed a Thursday morning hunt. Went out Friday evening. I got into Little Rock at like 2, picked up some groceries, got back, and we got we just kind of all hung out Thursday night. Camp got kind of officially kicked off, had some drinks, chilled out. Everybody got to know each other, sang some songs, and probably got to know each other too well because the Tuesday morning or the Thursday morning or Friday morning hunt didn't go so well. So that puts us Friday afternoon. Mr. Pardue's got us an awesome goose hunt set up there with Peck and the boys. We go down there and we get set up in the blind, and we're doing the panel blinds. And down there on the left end of the blind is the guide, Bobby, Tim, myself, Derek. And then heading down the other end of the blind was we had Jake, Russ, I don't know if Russ was on that side or not. We had Brad, Jake, can't remember. Yeah, Russ went on that with us. Russ, Mr. Pardue, Trevor, Trent, and so that's kind of the way we were all sat out. And it's kind of slow start, and we're talking, and Bobby said, he said, I got to go to that governor event over in Little Rock tomorrow night, and we're right outside of Stuttgart. It's about a 15-minute plane ride, and he's sitting there, and he's like, I'm having a great time out here at camp, and it's a blast. He said, but yeah, I got to break away tomorrow night. He said, I could probably take a couple of guests. He said, do you think anybody'd like to fly on my plane with me over to Little Rock, for a couple hours for that event? Tim's like, man, I think it'd be great, myself and, Brad, my best friend growing up, and obviously the Pardews, because they're always such good hosts, and, maybe Chad. And I'm kind of like, man, that'd be kind of cool, maybe, if opportunity came up. But we're hunting, we're in the blind. You never expect anything like that. You just kind of keep on hunting. And so we hunt great, take some awesome pictures. I had put some New York strip loins on the Traeger right before we went out to the blind. My boy Street Bike Tommy, yes, he was in camp also. He didn't go out on the goose hunt, so he hung back and just monitored the strip loins for me. Was texting me in the blind. Man, I got back, and those things were within 3 degrees of being done. I could not have gotten any luckier. They were gorgeous. I'll end up posting some content of those, but they were awesome. So got back, got dinner going. We did some scalloped potatoes. I used Julie Girl Meets Grill, her cheater scalloped potato recipe. It's awesome. Always works out great in camp. It's a big hit. I did some green beans asparagus. And then I had the pleasure, Johnny Gill brought me some, or either Peck one, brought me some Sandhill crane. And I got to cook that, and that was my first time cooking Sandhill crane, and my gosh, was that delicious. It was amazing. I enjoyed it so much. It was really good. Then the other ribeye in the sky, the speckled belly goose that I got to cook in camp last year, I got to cook in camp again this year. Totally killer. Love that. And then we just had some good old duck that we cut up and served in camp, and it was amazing. So really enjoyed that. We had a great dinner. So Friday night, hunt was awesome. Hang was awesome. We had good food. The guitars got broke out. A little bit of brown water got broke out. We just had a great time singing, playing, talking, picking. Great night in camp. Had a couple of the locals, a couple of other outside of camp guys come hang out with us for a little bit, little fellowship. And, man, that's what camp's all about. So it was absolutely awesome. Enjoyed the heck out of it. So that moves on to Saturday. So Saturday we all get up, morning hunt, not so much. Just all didn't line up. Get it talking. There's some buzz around. A couple people are going to go to the event with Bob, and that's cool. And so they're kind of getting ready, and it's getting a little later in the afternoon. And I think they wanted to leave camp. Don't quote me on this. It all started happening pretty quick, about 4 o'clock. And so they were going to leave 4 o'clock from camp, take the Sprinter van over to Stuttgart Airport, fly over to Little Rock, take a car to the event, hang out at the event, blah, blah, blah. So, I don't know, it gets about 10 minutes before leaving, and Tim comes over to me and he goes, you want to go to Little Rock? And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, well, Bob just talked to the governor's office, and they said we could bring some people. So, Bob said, let's fill the plane up. I bet they'll let us all in. And so, literally, we start scurrying to get ready. I think I had about 5 minutes. Funny story about this is I had never, ever thought we would be doing anything cool at duck camp because, like, the classiest place we go is, like, the pizza place after morning hunt. And so I only packed my cooking outfits, which are usually shoes, loudmouth shorts, and a T-shirt. And I had some waders and some muck boots and a jacket and a hunting hoodie. So I did not really have attire, but I said, screw it. I'm the old boy. I'm Chad Ward. I'm just going to wear what I'm comfortable in. So I wore these awesome new Croc-ish type Jordans that I got. I actually had 3 people at the event ask me about them. Wore some loudmouth shorts, whiskey bent shirt. Threw on a hat that Bob had given me the night before during the little pick and grin session going on. And we went on. And so we all load up. People are in their Sitka gear, their banded gear. I mean, we look like duck camp is coming to the governor's inauguration. So we jump in the jet. We head that way. We get into this little motorcade, and we descend upon the event. And it was pretty awesome. None of us obviously had been in Bobby's jet before. He was a super nice host. We got to the event, and the people of Arkansas could not have been nicer. It was Governor Huckabee's one of her events for her inauguration, Huckabee Sanders, I should say. And Bobby was there as a special guest, came out, did an awesome introduction. I'll try to post some of that stuff. But it was super, super cool. And so that happens. We get back. We actually got fogged in a little bit, so we could not we had to drive back. The folks were nice enough to drive us back to camp about an hour and 15 minutes. And we had a great ride back to camp. We all get back to camp talking about what a cool night it was. Thanks, Bob, this and that. Somebody says, hey, Chad, what time are you flying out tomorrow? I was like, I think like 2:30 out of Little Rock. I was like, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm on Southwest. I'm going Little Rock to Dallas. Then I got a 3-hour layover in Dallas, and then Dallas to Tampa. I obviously was not thinking when I booked this. And Bob goes, Chad, you're going to Dallas? You're going back to Florida? I was like, yeah. He goes, I'm going into Palm Beach if you want to go with me, and just Uber from Palm Beach back to Lakeland. And after about falling out of my bar stool, I said, are you sure, Bob? And he said yes. And Sunday, we wrap up camp. We tell everybody goodbye. It is always one of the hardest things to do. And we say our goodbyes. Mick was nice enough to take me and Bob to the airfield. And I got to have the experience of a lifetime. And this was the cherry on top. I'd always wanted to crash a governor's inauguration event in loudmouths, Jordans, and a Whiskey Bent t-shirt. And I got to. So thank you for that, Bob. Thank you for the awesome ride home. Thank you to the Lyft driver that drove me from Palm Beach County Executive Airfield to my home in Lakeland. I appreciate that. That's the story. One hell of a Lookout Lodge, Tim, Montana, birthday weekend, duck trip. Absolutely amazing. So happy I got to share it with everybody. And stay tuned. We got plenty more awesome stories like this. Take care.